Hello, everybody. Welcome to SAS Leaders Lounge, the premier podcast for insights into the tech world. I'm your host, Romone. In today's AI series, we're exploring the transformative journey of Fini, a beacon in the AI-driven customer support, with its co-founder, Deepak Singla. Deepak's path from Uber PM to pioneering at Fini illustrates a commitment to leveraging AI for enhanced customer experiences. Deepak, it's great to have you today. How's everything going and where are you joining us from?
Thank you so much for having me, Romone. It's always lovely to be here. I'm joining from Amsterdam. That's where our company is based out of. So me and my co-founder are here. But yeah, we have folks working for us globally. Our customers are global as well. So yeah, super excited to be here.
Brilliant. I love Amsterdam myself. And a typical English question. How's the weather doing at the moment over in Amsterdam?
Pretty similar to what you would have in London, I would say. It's better. It's better than what it was on the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, cannot complain too much.
Deepak, let's dive straight into it. I noticed your founder statement on the website. What started out with a casual coffee chat a couple years ago is now en route to becoming a category-defining business. So yeah, what drove you to establish Infini, especially considering your successful stint at Uber, and what gap in the market are you aiming to address?
Yes, it's a massive story. I'll try to be as crisp and short as possible. So me and my co-founder, we were both at Uber. That's where we met. And at Uber, we were working in the customer experience team. So Uber obviously is massive, right? Uber has like more than 100 million customers. But at Uber, we used to have about 180 million support issues, which is just
Wow.
insane, right? But at Uber, we had the resources to manage those. So we had like a more than 50% engineering team. And at
Yeah.
Uber, we had like more than 80% support issues, which are automated. So there's no human that touches that. As I said, at Uber, we could do that because we had a massive engineering team. Most
Yeah.
companies do not. And what those companies do is they tend to neglect customer support, and that really reflects on the business, right? Because at the end of the day, if you don't keep your customers happy, if you don't retain your customers, you will not have a business long term, which most companies do not realize because they would typically want to save costs on support on the short term. And then long term, they're like, fuck, we shouldn't have done that. If you see
It's
all
true.
great businesses, Airbnb, Uber, Amazon, have been built in a way where they have just top-notch customer service. So coming from Uber, seeing experience from Uber, we wanted to bring the same customer experiences to all of the other companies out there.
Yeah.
That's what those were the coffee chats that me and my co-founder used to have, and that led us to start Fini in 2022. So we started in June of 2022.
Amazing. Most definitely amazing. I think you definitely mentioned the gap in the market you was aiming to address with what you witnessed in your kind of high level experience at Uber. Overall, Finny has introduced groundbreaking features lately. Are you able to elaborate on these innovations and their impact on Finny's position in the AI sector?
Absolutely. So in terms of our focus, we typically focus on enterprises. So there are two reasons why we do that. One, with enterprises, there's just the volume of customer support is really high, right? And secondly, a lot of those companies, they would actually have that high focus on customer experience as well,
Yeah.
where they would want to use a tool like Fini. And in terms of what we really bring to the table, right, you will actually see there's just so many tools out there which would say they would do AI for customer support. But the reality
Yeah.
is most of them do not work. And the reason why they don't work is that they would typically use a pretty standard rack pipeline. I think today we can go slightly deeper into that as well. But they would use a pretty standard rack pipeline to solve customer support issues, just trying to leverage the fact that they can spin up a quick chatbot that works on day one. Reality is, if you spin up something on day one, if you try to like copy paste the same thing across customers, it just does not work. If you want to make it work, you actually need to spend time on both ends, on Fini's end and on the company's end as well. So that's where we focus on. One is our rack pipelines are really modular. where we can actually work with the company based on their use case to make sure how do we get the maximum accuracy. So the customers that we work with, we get more than 96% accuracy, which is actually higher than humans. So typically across our customers, we're solving anywhere between 70 to 80% of their support issues. So think of it as like they have this superhuman AI agent sitting for them, solving questions at a higher accuracy than any of their agents would do. So it typically becomes a no-brainer for a company to use a product like ours as well. And also like because it's an AI agent, typically our the cost would also be like almost 1/30th of what an actual human would cost to solve those issues. So it's like higher accuracy,
Amazing.
better customer experience at a lower cost. Just is a no-brainer across.
I agree. That's quite groundbreaking, Deepak. It's impressive to see how Fini is not just evolving, but kind of actively leading the charge in the AI-driven customer support area. Overall, celebrating your partnership with Duolingo and others makes it a significant milestone. How has this journey been influencing the AI customer support landscape with such industry giants?
Yeah, so we're actually working with quite a few industry leaders, companies like Duolingo uh, and Bitdefender, DistroKid, and a bunch of others. As I said, I think there's like two important things that we've seen. Like obviously, we have also learned a lot in the last 2 years, right? There's so many new companies that have been spun up in terms of competition. But I think over the last 2 years, we just learned a lot in the industry to see that one, security is a huge focus. Second,
Yeah.
accuracy is a huge focus. And we've actually worked across with these companies. But even when we started, we were not 96% accurate. When we started, we were also in that 75% accuracy range as
Yeah.
well. But we have listened to our customers, have seen what their problems are, and then we've worked along with them, grown with them, and they have trusted us in the journey. And now I guess they are reaping the benefits as well for trusting us and helping us with along with them. So I think that's one really big part for us. We listen to customers, we spend our time with our customers, so we know how to improve our product as well. And I think on kind of building on that, one of our biggest releases that we are that's actually coming in the next 2 weeks is this product feature called as Evals. So what this means is it's a business evaluation tool for customer support teams. What this really means on like a basic level is whatever tool that you will use, it will not be perfect, right? It has to iterate over time. It has to learn over time. And this is something that we're actually building in our product, which is how do we make it dead easy for the customer support teams to actually improve the product over time? So for example, if out of 100 questions, we're getting 95 right, but there's still those 5 questions that we're not getting right. How can we have those people give that feedback so that if that same question comes again, we get it right the next time, right? Which is very important. How do you like sort of help AI learn from its mistakes and then improve it the next time? So that's something that we've actually been beta testing along with our early customers, and we've seen like just great response. And that's something that I really think is just really the piece that has been missing from the industry so far on how do you not have like a single model just doing everything and not improving it over time. So I think the improvement is something that we believe will actually be the game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think creating, as you mentioned, the business evaluation tool, I think that's a strong impact that will have in the industry. And whilst collaborating with the big names you mentioned, such as Bitdefender, DistroKid, Duolingo, I think it definitely again showcases the pivotal role in shaping or reshaping customer support with AI that you're playing. I've also analyzed kind of your growth of late. I've seen you've had a lot of recruitment of ML engineers. How do you envision these talents propelling Fini's AI solutions forward?
Oh, a great question. So I think like in terms of ML, that's really a unique advantage, right? So how do we make sure the data that we have, how do we make sure we are actually learning from that data and building on top of that data? So where we really see ourselves going in the next 3 years is being
Yeah.
industry specific. So we are
Okay.
going to target two specific industries. One is fintech and one is e-commerce. And then we actually want to use the data that we have gathered and use that data to train our models specifically for those industries so that we can have a lot more targeted solutions as well and really build our wedge using the machine learning power that we have in us.
So Excellent, I must say. I think you're on an excellent trajectory to dominate the e-commerce and the fintech areas that are glowing at the moment, especially within 2024. I think leveraging fresh talent to further innovate in AI for customer support is the right way to move forward. Are you able to share insights on how integrating AI has optimized response times and overall customer satisfaction for Fini's clients?
Absolutely. I mean, so there's a bunch of metrics, like not just response times and satisfaction. I think like the first sort of, I guess, the top criteria that we really have for our customers is retention. Like how we impacting the retention of their existing customers, and then you'll obviously have certain satisfaction metrics and NPS scores that actually sort of roll down to retention. So in terms of retention numbers, it's like really varies across customers, right? But we've seen retention numbers improve in single digit to double digit across for our customers, and satisfaction levels improve by double digits for our customers. So I guess that's like really a first number that we measure ourselves against. And then the second number that we measure ourselves against is how many of their support issues are we able to solve. So we typically can solve anywhere between 70 to 80% of support issues, which is massive, right? Because any
Yeah,
company can actually now grow 5x with the same number of agents. So that's pretty insane for them, and that's what we've seen
it
as
is.
well. Our product being adopted in fast-growing companies, because now they don't need to spend all of that money in getting human agents over time. And I think this is also like one of the things, right? Whenever a new technology comes in, there's always this sort of pushback. So, for example, in let's say 1970s, 80s, when like let's say we had machines come in to manufacture cars and so on, people are like,
Yeah,
oh, people are gonna go out of jobs, and you will not have as many people like let's say being able to manufacture cars. But reality is that does not happen. It's just that machines are just able to manufacture cars more effectively. So you just had more cars because then people would just use it more. And that's what we see pretty similar with AI as well. It's not that we're actually like taking jobs away from agents. What's really happening here is because we can actually solve simpler queries pretty easily. Now, these agents can actually go and spend their time and be more effective in solving complex problems, which actually need a human brain today. And with that, what also happens is some of the queries for our customers, which would typically take days to be solved, because obviously there's just so many queries that those people can solve, they can actually be
yeah.
solved in minutes now, because now they don't have to care about the queries that Fini is solving already. So I think it's just that better customer experience. Those agents can actually like work on more creative things as well, and then just we are helping the company scale as well. So it's kind of win-win across retention, satisfaction, cost savings.
Yeah, I completely agree with yourself. And I think one of my favorite statements in regards to the future of AI is kind of AI won't necessarily replace you, but someone using AI may replace you. And I think
Absolutely.
the optimization, yeah, in retention and kind of the percent of solved issues achieved through AI with Fini is remarkable. It's definitely clear that Fini's technology significantly enhances customer interactions and ultimately saves money and time, as you mentioned. But as AI evolves, what new functionalities can your clients look forward to?
Oh, okay. So there's a lot that we are working on. I guess our two most important things always as a company are one is just helping our AI to be more accurate, so that
Yeah,
obviously downstream all of the other metrics improve. And second is just improving the speed, because we build our own modular rack pipeline. So once we have those pipelines, it's not just a simple LLM call. There's just so many steps happening in the middle. How do we optimize that and just make sure that we're, because the thing with AI is like though humans might have taken like minutes/hours to respond, now in AI, even if it's happening in 5 seconds, people want it in 1 second, people want it in half a
yeah,
second. So all of those optimizations are really important. And the thing is like just even a half a second optimization really takes a lot in terms of innovation, and how do we
that's a
actually
lot of
get
time.
there. So yeah, so I think those are the two really big ones that we're focusing on. But along with that, in future, you'll also see us going from. So right now we're completely text based. So for a
Okay.
company, wherever they would interact with their customers from a text perspective, which could be like they might be using a tool like Slack or Teams, or even
Yeah.
like solving support tickets on their mail. So we're solving all of that today. But in the future, we want to then go into audio as well on how we can solve tickets on phone as well. So that's something that's coming. It will not probably be pretty imminent, but it's coming in medium term.
Brilliant. I say the future with kind of more speed, more accuracy definitely sounds promising with Fini. And then when you add the audio aspect, there could even be some visual aspects coming next as well, I can predict. So yeah, I think that's an excellent route to take. Looking at the AI industry as a whole and kind of Fini's interaction with this, what emerging AI technologies or trends are you most excited about, and how do you plan to integrate them into Fini?
So I think there's two things that I'm really most excited about. One is the cost models, right?
Yeah,
So what we've seen is, I guess probably like OpenAI's models are really the best ones so far that we've been using so far, and we've seen like the costs have gone down by around 50% in the last
for
12
sure.
months or so, but that's still not enough. So I think like as like models keep on getting better, as we have open source models keep on getting better, that's when we'll see the cost sort of drop drastically. And for this to really be mainstream, the cost need to drop by a factor of 10x, not just 1 or 2x. So I think that's something that's like a really big one for a mainstream adoption. That's one. And second is, I think one other thing that I'm really excited about is just having this technology over for things like video and audio as well. I think like obviously text has gone quite far back end, but now seeing
Yeah.
the same tech coming across with video and audio is also something pretty exciting.
Brilliant. I think yeah, your vision for incorporating these trends definitely continue to set new standards within your customer support. How do you see AI transforming customer support strategies across various industries in the future?
I think one thing that we really see is typically in support, people have like really sort of thought of deflecting support tickets through chatbots. I think one thing
Yeah.
that will really become a change would be thinking of using AI as a co-pilot or using AI agents, where you think of AI agents as like part of the workforce where they're actually
Yeah.
helping solve support issues. But one other massive thing that's going to happen is with all of the data points being used by models here, you would not just solve issues faster and cheaper, but you'll have so much data that you can actually use to interact with these customers and sell more products to these customers, right? Because now you know when these people are reaching out, but they're reaching out about
Yeah.
categorize their problems. So it will impact product development significantly, but it will also sort of change how you can actually sell more products to these customers. So I see a fundamental shift from customer support going from like a cost industry to becoming a massive revenue engine. And that's actually something that we did really well at Uber, because once you understand your customers, and support is literally the best way to understand your customers, because
Yeah.
if someone is happy, they would not reach out to you, right? Like people reach out to you when they're pissed. And if you listen to
It's
them
true.
and see what the problems are, you can actually like really make a positive impact on your business.
Definitely. I think the all-round support future that you kind of mentioned in your perspective is definitely enlightening at the least to state. But overall, I think we've had some great kind of deep questions that we've covered. I think it would be great to kind of have some fun, get to know a bit more of the
Let's
person
do it.
Deepak behind the co-founder with some quick fire round questions. So I'll start off with the first one. Would you prefer to control time or mind?
Oof, time.
Brilliant. Would you prefer to speak all languages or talk to animals?
Speak all languages.
Fantastic. Would you prefer endless money or endless love?
Endless love.
Brilliant. Great answer. Would you prefer to live forever or live 10 different lives?
Live. I would. I'd actually say none of that. I would just live one life. Happy with that one.
I believe so. Would you prefer to space travel or deep sea exploration?
Space travel.
Me too. And last question, would you prefer perfect memory or perfect health?
perfect health. It's the most important.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Brilliant. To keep the collaborative nature of our podcast going, I'm not sure if you've watched the previous ones, but we always have a question that's asked from our last guest to our current and also from our current to our next. So in our last episode, we had Kevin Barragona. He's the founder of a company called Deep AI. And he was talking about kind of the evolution of these amazing AI videos we've seen. But his question to yourself, Deepak, would be, what is the world sleeping on when it comes to these AI videos?
The world is not actually sleeping when it comes to AI videos. If you see, like OpenAI just released Sora, and
Yeah,
it's just insane. It's just so much better than anything that has come so far. And honestly, obviously, like having static images, that was a slightly easier problem to solve, but having coherent videos was a tougher problem to solve. So it did take
yeah.
a bit of time, but I think anybody has not seen Sora from OpenAI, they should go and see it out. So the world is actually moving really, really fast on videos as well. And I think this is just going to get better and better in the coming months. I would not say years, because just the things move really fast in the industry so far.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Soon we'll have AGI here as well. But yeah, great answer. I must say, indeed, like I'm very much looking forward to Kevin's response to that, as I do catch up with him regularly, and I'll be sure to inform you if there's anything for you to discuss further upon that as well. But in terms of our next guest, we're speaking to a gentleman called Bill, who's actually a co-founder of a company called Aviz AI. They're putting together kind of a consultancy where many different kind of AI consultants can actually go in and access kind of work in a freelance sort of way. Both of the co-founders have had a great kind of journey. Bill himself led the development of SAP and also Oracle. The other co-founder, Batika, she actually led the development within TIBCO. So ultimately, that's who your question is going to be going towards. But what would you want to ask them?
Fantastic. I think they're doing great work. I'll probably want to ask them on what do they think about having closed source versus open source LLM. So how do they see the entire space developing? And yeah, what's their preference in using one or the other types of models?
Fantastic. That's an amazing question, I must say. I don't think just yourself will want to know the answer. Actually, I'm confident all of our listeners will be tuning in to find out the answer to that question. So thank you very much. Overall, before we wrap up, Deepak, where can listeners find more about you, your work, and Fini?
There's two ways to find more about Fini and me. You can go to LinkedIn. Company is Fini. There actually you can just go to our page, or you can contact me as well. Deepak Singla. You can find me on LinkedIn if you just type Deepak Singla Fini. I'm pretty similar on Twitter as well. Just find Fini AI on Twitter, or you can just find Deepak Singla Fini on Twitter. Yeah, looking forward to connecting some of these folks.
Fantastic. I'll be sure to put those details within the description on YouTube and also find the podcast on Spotify and Apple. But yeah, to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning into the SaaS Leaders Lounge today. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform for more episodes like this. Until next time, keep innovating and leading in the SaaS world. It's been a pleasure to have you on today. Goodbye, Deepak, as well. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Romone. This was fun.